You are a spiritual being. So often we get confused in this reality that we're in and believe that we're this character that we create. So I'm Charles, right? This avatar, this body. I'm defined by being a coach or a motivational speaker or an entrepreneur or a fantastic guy, right? Or by where I live or the material that I have, the money that I've made, blah, blah, blah. All of these external things we use to create a character, which is what we call the ego. And that ego is simply that, it's an ego. It's not you. You are the spiritual being that lives within. You are the spiritual being that perceives through the ego. The ego is simply the character that we're perceiving through in this reality that we're currently living in. And so I'm here to remind you that you're a spiritual being in a human. You're not a human that has a soul. You're a spiritual being in a human. It's completely different, right? Now, as this spiritual being that you are infinitely limitless. Infinitely. You are infinitely limitless in your potential. There is nothing that you can't do. You can accomplish anything. The only limitation is that which you place upon your own mind. And when you learn to control the mind, which is the only thing that you have control over, you don't have control over anything else apart from where you place your attention, which is how you then rewire your mind and gain mastery over it. That's the only thing you have control over. Everything else you have influence over. Influence, no control. You know? So I'm just eating watermelon and I just discovered a seed in my mouth. I'm on like the 5th day of a watermelon fast. Fasting is incredible. I've got a video called what's it called? It's called The Secret Benefits of Fasting, or What Are the Secrets to Fasting, or something, Secrets and Fasting, Charles Million. Type it in and have a watch of that. It's really good. Well, I think it's really good. I hope you agree. I hope you agree. But yeah, we're spiritual beings. And so I remind myself of this every day, that what I really am is limitless, is infinite. When this human body dies, energy never just destroyed, it transforms into a new currency, a new form, right? So I'll simply transform back to source consciousness as the spiritual being that I am, you know? So remember, each and every day, when you think of yourself, try not to identify to this ego. Ego identification is the biggest illness unknown to man, because we're not aware of it. We walk around, I believe I'm this, I believe I'm that. Let me build up this pride and this ego and this character and strengthen it. And there's nothing wrong with strengthening the ego, but when you're identified to it and you believe you get your sense of self from it, it can become a problem. It can become a big problem. Because then, right, let's say if I say I'm this entrepreneur and I have all this money and that's who Charles is. What happens if I lose that? What happens if I go bankrupt? What happens if my businesses crumble? Then who am I? If I associated my sense of self to an external substance, if that external substance is then taken away, I'm lost. I'm gone. I'm finished. This is why people end up, when there's stock crashes, they commit suicide. They're like, my whole life's over. It's like, no, not at all. Your life isn't over because you lose things externally. You create your life in every single moment as the spiritual being that you are. These things don't define you. You are not, a character that has a bookshelf. You're a spiritual being perceiving itself through a character that has a bookshelf. If you're also a character that has a bookshelf like I am, right? And my character's eccentric. It's in this mixed race body. It's got this curly wild hair. It's from London, all of that jazz, right? But that's Charles. It's not me. Charles has changed. When Charles was 7, he was a different being to when he was 14, to when he was 21, to now when I'm 28. Completely different. I like the way it went 7, 14, 21, 28. It illustrated my point that little bit more. Well, it didn't illustrate my point at all. Didn't add any value to what I'm saying. But I liked it because I like numerology and it went up in 7s. And every 7 years, a man goes through a new cycle. So 28 to 35 is going to be a new period of me. Period for me. Stepping out in the limelight, stepping out into the world, doing amazing things, you know, sharing my potential and gifts that I have with people. I've been preparing to lay my foundation for the last 10 years. And again, when I'm talking about I, right, the spiritual being that perceives through Charles, not Charles. If you identify to that character, it causes you pain, suffering, and trauma. But when you let go of that, you can begin to move fluidly and free with life. Apparently, it looks something like this. So if you want to hear more about being a spiritual being, or more about any of the topics that I cover, stream my next event online. Or if you're watching this after the lockdown's finished, come down to one of the events, elevation events, that's what they're called. Go to charlesmillion.com, get the tickets on there, or go to my Instagram, charlesmillion. From there you can find my other social medias, and the ticket link is there as well. Also, if you want a free coaching session, we can do an online video coaching session, a free consultation, and then yeah, I'll go through how I work with my clients and what I do in more detail in that regard also. So peace and love. I hope you all have a beautiful, sexy, strong, productive day.